game of the week here in Storrs, Connecticut. Toscano Family Ice Forum, game 1 out of 2 this weekend between UNH and UConn. With Johnny Lazarus, I'm Tyler Murray. Laura Stickles joins us in just a bit. We got Connecticut and New Hampshire, Johnny, 2 teams trending upward in a very competitive Hockey East Conference this year. What's going to make the difference, you think, in a tight matchup like this?
The difference in this game is going to be the special teams. UNH comes into this game with the 13th best power play in the nation, clicking at a 23.2%. So as long as UConn can stay out of the box and stay disciplined, they'll bring the crowd energy and they'll come out and they'll shut down UNH.
Really nice effort last weekend here for UConn against number 7 Maine. They could have swept that series, but they wind up taking 1 out of 2 games. They're really turning the corner.
Well, it was the Arseny Sergiev show as he welcomed in the University of Maine and shut them out, the number 7 team in the country, but the UConn Huskies defended so well. They were very disciplined in that game, only committing 1 penalty. So that is the key to tonight's game, taking that momentum from the win against Maine and bring it into tonight at Toscano.
We know Mike Cavanaugh disappointed last Friday after not being able to hold an early lead against Maine. Had to feel good to get that win and get the series split against Maine. And Coach Cavanaugh caught up with Laura Stickles before the game.
Coach, you're coming off a win against a top 10 Maine team. Not only a win, a shutout win. What kind of confidence does that give you coming into this home and home?
Well, I think the way we close that game out certainly gives the team confidence, but it's a new challenge this week and a different team in New Hampshire.
Yeah, New Hampshire has been playing good hockey all season long. What stands out to you about them?
They're really quick. I think we're going to have to tighten up through the neutral zone. We can't let them get going and transition, and make sure we have a lot of face-off intensity tonight as well.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
All right, Johnny, we just got Coach Cavanaugh's thoughts about UNH. It's a team that's on pace for their best season in a decade. What do you make of the Wildcats so far this year?
Well, UNH has a lot of offensive firepower, and what they're going to try to do tonight is get pucks behind the UConn defenseman and get after it. They play so well in the offensive zone with their speed, their shiftiness, and just their overall offensive talent. So look for the Wildcats to get pucks on net early and crash for second and third opportunities.
Phenomenal job this year for Mike Souza, of course, a former assistant coach under Mike Cavanaugh. Here's him with Laura Stickles from just a moment ago.
Coach, not the result you wanted last Saturday against BU, but your team did play really hard. So what are some positives you can take away from that game?
Yeah, I think you just said it. I mean, the result is all that matters, really. But there were a lot of good things we did in that game. And I think, if we can play that way consistently, we'll find ourselves on the positive end of the scoreboard more often than not.
UConn tonight, and they're a heavy, tight-checking team. So how do you get your offense going against them?
Yeah, no, they are. I think for us, it's about not letting them stop the puck in the D zone, making sure that we keep the puck moving. We use our speed and quickness, and we don't pass up any shots.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Great stuff, Laura. Thank you very much. It's a chilly one here in Storrs, Connecticut. Up the road from Toscano Family Ice Forum. They're playing some pond hockey. Let's bring it inside for the real thing. It's the Hockey East Game of the Week on NESN. So glad you're with us. Game 1 of a weekend series between UNH and UConn. Players to watch, Johnny Lazarus. For UNH, it all starts with Ryan Conmey.
Ryan Conmey, the freshman forward, is a very smart and competitive player, but the coaching staff and even his teammates want to see him shoot the puck a little bit more. He's got an NHL release, so look for him to get that shot off early and often tonight.
I want to talk about offense. How about Chase Bradley for Connecticut?
The junior forward, Chase Bradley, is a physical force whenever he's on the ice. He leads by example and does a little bit of everything, like scoring goals, blocking shots, throwing the body, even killing penalties. So look for Chase Bradley to have his impact all over the ice tonight.
Quick look at the goaltenders. Don't let that 3-0 final score last Saturday at BU fool you for UNH. Jakob Helston put together a phenomenal effort, but first, the keys to the game, Johnny, run us through it.
For New Hampshire, they just got to have a shoot-first mentality and try to create offensive opportunities by possessing the puck in the offensive zone. Also, in the road environment, they got to control their emotions. For UConn, it's all about staying disciplined. This UNH power play is very dynamic and very elite, so as long as they don't take any penalties and protect the middle of the ice, UConn should be fine tonight.
Helston, he made some 10-bell saves at Agganis Arena last weekend, and for his efforts, he's on the Mike Richter Award watch list now.
Jakob Helston's gone through a ton of adversity in his career, but his mental toughness has been huge for this Wildcats group.
How about Ethan Hyder for UConn? He's back between the pipes tonight.
Ethan Hyder plays very big in his goal and has great lateral movement, doesn't allow many rebounds, so UNH has to try to get those second and third opportunities tonight.
All right, puck down, game on. It's just the 12th time the men's hockey team has played here at Toscano Family Ice Forum. They are 6-5 in this phenomenal new building. Seats 2,600. It is tough to get a ticket here in Storrs, Connecticut. There goes Matthew Wood in his 4th game back from Team Canada in the World Junior Championships. And they'll bring it around back to the blue line. It's Wood again. That goes off of Bradley and into the corner where Nikolai Jensen, one of New Hampshire's top blue liners, goes down into a dive. And it comes loose for Bradley again. He tries to jam it home past the pad of Helston, but he holds the post and gets an early save. Bradley actually scored 30 seconds into last Friday's game at the XL Center against Maine, but this time he's denied.
Helston also had no idea where that puck was. He was looking around trying to find it, didn't realize it was right on his toe. So a great early opportunity there for UConn and Chase Bradley.
Helston, the North Dakota transfer, he's a junior from Sweden. He's got a top 3 goals against average in the country, 1.81. And he and Tyler Muslick, who was a Team USA Juniors guy in the development program, they're sharing the load. There's Tom Messinio looking for a tip. That one off the back skate of Joey Muldowney, a Sharks prospect. Loose behind, and there's a little bit of room there for Brendan Fitzgerald. His dad, Tom, is the New Jersey Devils general manager. He had to give it up. Luke Reed throws a check. It comes loose to Muldowney. Fitzgerald ambushes him. Conmey comes in to help, and then Liam Devlin banks it up and out. Loose puck. Here's Cy Leclerc. He's moving in on Hyder, and he couldn't put it through. Good early chance for UNH. Cy Leclerc, sophomore from Brentwood, New Hampshire, surprisingly held to just 1 goal in his last 7 games since the start of December, but he's got the talent to really pick things up down the stretch.
And the speed, a great burst of speed there by Cy Leclerc, flying through the middle of the ice to get himself a mini breakaway.
Nice play there by Owen Simpson to step in front of J.P. Turner, getting a lot of ice time lately with this 4th line, along with Harrison Blaisdell and Connor Sweeney. Another guy who's earned playing time from the difference he's made in practice. We don't get to see every practice, Johnny, but these coaches, they watch obviously very closely to even make some late season changes, and J.P. Turner's a big part of that, getting some playing time lately.
The amount of practice time you get in college hockey is what separates it from junior hockey, and most coaches actually film the practices, and they break down the film from practice. So practice is where all these players get better day in, day out, and I probably just said the word practice 5 or 6 times.
We're not talking about practice anymore. There goes Sweeney up the near side. Spets out of his own end, and there's Richard. Nice work to step around Jensen. A little bit of breathing room, but whistled offside with 17:56 to go. Pretty even matchup here, Johnny, as we take a look at the early chance for Cy Leclerc.
Cy Leclerc didn't get enough wood on that shot. He kind of fans out at the last second, kind of a backhand, forehand, and blocker side. Doesn't get enough on it, but a great burst of speed there from Leclerc.
UNH started this season, picked 10th out of 11 in the Hockey East preseason poll. Ryan Conmey said this week that the team's been talking about that a lot this year, and they've earned the respect of a lot of different teams across the country now. I mean, they're 7th in Hockey East, but they've played the fewest games in conference play. UConn has played the most, so there are 4 points separating these teams. The Huskies have the edge, but with a good weekend here, UNH can really pick up some ground as they try to get their first above 500 season in 10 years. There's their captain, Alex Gagne, local kid in the Granite State, a junior from Bedford, New Hampshire. Does it on both ends. He averages about 3 block shots per game, which is 2nd most in the country behind only BU's Cade Weber. There's a chance for Hudson Shandor. He was day-to-day, but he's healthy, and he's setting up Chase Bradley, who couldn't bury it past Jakob Helston.
I'd like to see Hudson Shandor shoot that puck. He had the lane right away. He just waited a little bit long to make that decision.
There's Shandor again, forces a tough save from Helston.
That time he shot it.
Now Matthew Wood centering feed, and Shandor was denied. And they're able to flip that one up and out. Morgan Winters, the sophomore from Osprey, Florida. Robert Cronin found the puck, got it over the blue line, bumped by Lucas. And they blow the whistle here. A high stick is signaled as that puck skid into the corner. And they'll stop play with 16:37 to go in the opening frame.
Got a little chippiness behind the play as well with Matthew Wood and Marty Lavins. Frustration showing here early in a big Hockey East matchup perhaps. A very physical start to this game as you see here from the high sticking call as well. Bradley on the Winters crashing the net there, gets a stick.
So Bradley, he's off for 2 minutes, Johnny, and you said at the top of the broadcast, special teams could be the difference this weekend.
And also Chase Bradley is one of their better penalty killers, so losing him is somewhat of a double whammy. This UNH power play, though, is pretty elite, 13th best in the country at 23.2%. Let's see them go to work.
If you break it down, Hockey East play, UNH, well, they're down to 17% on the power play. Non-conference, they've really taken care of business, up near 30%. Now 0 for 6 against BU with a man advantage or even a 2-man advantage like they had against the Terriers in the first period last week, but they really did have some good opportunities. Luke Reed hit an early post. Ryan Conmey had a couple of grade A looks. So Mike Souza was actually encouraged with the opportunities they created, but as every coach tells you, it's all about finishing.
Well, to that point, too, Coach Souza said your power play, as much as it's about scoring, it's also about creating momentum. So if they generate some scoring chances on this first power play, it just builds up your bench a little bit more. But as we're seeing right now, UConn's very aggressive on their penalty kills, so it could also take momentum away from them.
UConn did a really nice job last Saturday against Maine in the 2-0 win. Only committed one penalty. They killed it off. Before that, they had allowed 6 power play goals in their previous 4 games, so maybe a vulnerable spot for the Huskies. And Mike Cavanaugh said both special teams units have to get better if we want to make a deep run in the Hockey East tournament. Here's Ryan Conmey, top of the circle. Still 47 seconds left on the power play. One-timer from LeClaire. That one handled by Hyder. Comes loose behind the cage, and the lane is found by Lucas to get it out of there.
Been a little chippiness behind the play here for both teams. Yelling at the refs for a call.
There's a good speed from Nick Ring. He steps in. Got around Muldowney, but Spetz slows him down. Muldowney could not clear. Lindner kept it in. Walking to the high slot. Shot from distance. Glove down by Hyder. Rebound is backhanded into the glove of Kristaps Skrastins, the sophomore from Latvia. Here's Skrastins again. 13 seconds left on the penalty. There's a blocker save from Hyder through traffic. And now Ring down deep. Skrastins threw it on. Blocked in front. Into the corner for Ring. 3 seconds left on the power play. They'll stash it down deep. Morgan Winters had to play an awkward carom. Bradley comes out of the penalty box, and the penalty is killed.
Great PK by the Huskies. That gives them momentum on home ice here, too. Not allowing many opportunities for the Wildcats to get going.
Bradley got his own rebound along the half wall. Here's Ryan Tattle stepping around Lindner. Chipped a pass to the middle. Good idea, but he couldn't find Fraser as this fourth line is out there making things happen for the Huskies. Lucas guides one in. Nikolai Jensen looking for a way out, able to find it with Nick Caffarelli. Great comeback story, Nick Caffarelli. Broke a talus bone last year skating at UMass, a really rare injury in the ankle-foot area. They weren't sure if he's going to be able to come back 100% this year, but he's been one of the better forwards all season. J.P. Turner, but a good read from Ryan Mashey. The RPI transfer couldn't do much with it, though. Cam Gendron's pass was a little out of the reach of Harrison Blaisdell, so it's back down deep into the Wildcat end with Gagné. Jensen hoisting one to center. Blaisdell couldn't get there. Kicked away by Simpson. He went down hard. Both of these teams coming off a game last Saturday where neither team scored until very late in regulation. A 2-0 win for UConn, a 3-0 loss for UNH. But for Connecticut, you ask a lot of people around here who saw both games at the XL Center in Hartford last weekend, they'll tell you UConn probably should have swept the number 7 team in the country, the Maine Black Bears, as Fitzgerald steps through the slot, looking for help, and he'll throw it back to Luke Reed. From distance, that one blocked by Simpson. It comes to Lindner. Jammed one out to Reed, flung it on, and a save made by Hyder. He'll squeeze it, and that'll send us to our first commercial break. 12:52 remaining here in the opening frame. Nothing on the board yet, but a great, evenly contested matchup between New Hampshire and Connecticut in the Friday Night Hockey East Game of the Week on NESN. Family Ice Forum with Johnny Lazarus. I'm Tyler Murray. Let's send it down to the third member of our broadcast team. It's Laura Stickles.
Thank you, Tyler. Well, you guys were talking earlier about the great start to the season that Jakob Helston is having in net for UNH. He transferred to UNH after spending his first 2 seasons at North Dakota, but he was never really able to reach his potential there. When we spoke with his new head coach, Mike Souza, that Nodak is a really tough place to play. The adversity that players face there with the media scrutiny is second to none. But his belief in himself was always a beacon for Helston. He's always known that he's a top goalie, and this season he's proving it. Since transferring, his goals against average is nearly an entire point lower, and his save percentage is nearly 5% higher. That just really shows that a change of scenery can make all the difference, because that's a huge difference from one year to the next, guys.
Thanks, Laura. Yeah, 5 straight starts now for Helston. Mike Souza really putting faith into the North Dakota transfer. He's allowed 2 goals or fewer in each of his last 4 starts, as that one swings past him. But yeah, I thought it was interesting to hear about the media market for North Dakota hockey. In some ways, it's Not the only show in town, but the biggest show in town as Muldowney works his way to the circle, fired one on, and somehow Helston kept it out. But a lot of media scrutiny for a lot of very young student athletes.
North Dakota, the Toronto of the states, as they call it, which they don't. I just made that up. But no, North Dakota is, a very elite hockey program, and they've had a lot of success over their years, and a lot of NHL players come out of that program. So the pressure should be on. I think that's why players choose to go there in the first place.
Actually have another transfer from the Fighting Hawks, Harrison Blaisdell, fourth line center. His Conmee shot came right back to him. Nice block from Harrison Reese. Skids out to Colton Heward, looking middle, and the pass never got to Cy Leclerc. Here's Jake Richard speeding his way up the near side, but Lindner took it away. Heward again, rink-wide feed, out of the reach of Ring, and the race is won by Pascucci to confirm the icing call.
You can sense that the Huskies are paying a lot of attention to Ryan Conmee. You just saw Harrison Reese boxing him out after blocking that shot in the corner of the ice for an extra 4 to 5 seconds. Kind of looking like Mitchell Robinson in the paint for a New York Knicks game, but man, the attention that Ryan Conmee is getting as a freshman is pretty incredible.
Well, you see Mike Souza over on the right side of the bench, Jeff Giuliano as well, directing some traffic. But Mike Souza, he says it's always special coming back to UConn. And not only was he part of Mike Cavanaugh's staff as Spets hammers one wide, Souza, a big part of his responsibility about 10 years ago was transitioning UConn from Atlantic hockey to Hockey East. So he has some really special memories from Storrs, Connecticut, and of course Hartford. So really fun to see these former teammates and fellow coaches match up against each other.
I remember watching UConn's first ever Hockey East win. I was in my second year in Wichita Falls, and it was the coolest thing because, growing up in this area from Long Island, you see a lot of UConn basketball hype, but to see the UConn hockey program grow itself and become, a nationally recognized program is very cool for someone who's local to this area.
Of course, Mike Souza, a star player for those New Hampshire teams in the late 90s that made a run to the national championship. That was an overtime loss in 1999. But Souza was the one who scored the goal to force OT against Maine. There's Jake Falou to drag it ahead, surrounded by those dark blue sweaters of New Hampshire. You're a big fan of those, Johnny Lazarus. I'll wager that UConn's unis look pretty good as well. Good matchup today.
I was just going to say, as much as I love these UNH road unis, it's just a classic look. I think the UConn whites might be my favorite home setup.
Oh, wow.
In all of college hockey. I love the red, white, and blue. USA Hockey, New York Rangers.
Sure.
Big fan of the red, white, and blue setup. So UConn to me, just a nice clean look.
You wore plenty of maroon in your Hockey East playing days, but a good blue battle here this evening. It's the number 17 UNH Wildcats against the UConn Huskies. A slow start for Connecticut. 5 wins, 8 losses, and 1 tie to begin things, but they've gone 4-2-1 since. And again, last weekend, Friday against Maine, that first matchup, they had, for a moment, a 3-0 lead in the second period, but a goal was called off because of goaltender interference after a review. A shorthanded goal from Maine in the third period. That wound up really turning the tide, and the Black Bears never took the foot off the gas. Here's Pascucci. He zips a pass to Wood. He'll take a spin at center. Now Chase Bradley, right to the glove of Jakob Helston, who was able to squeeze it.
UNH has done a great job in this first 10 minutes on the road, not allowing many grade A's for UConn. They've done a good job dictating the pace as well. We haven't seen UConn really have any odd man rushes aside from that Hudson Shandor 2-on-1, which he made a pass instead of a shot. So Helston hasn't been tested too much early on here, but that's what you want as a road team. You want to settle into the game, win the first 10 minutes, calm everything down, and not have to weather a storm.
I heard Mike Souza talk this week about Helston's success off the ice. English is the second language. He's here from Sweden. Apparently he has a 4.0 GPA this semester in UNH's business school. We couldn't pull off 4.0s at Hockey East schools being English speakers. So, and very impressive there for Jakob Helston. Remember Chase Stevenson, last year's captain, was a great student in that school as well for UNH. But Scucci had that one caromed up high. Stevenson now with Merrimack back healthy as part of his grad transfer year. Ryan Massey, he's a grad transfer from RPI. Puck pinballed right back to him. Front of shoulder, Winters off the puck. Into the corner it goes. Richard threw a check. Puck came loose to Colton Heward, and he'll slide it ahead to Marty Lavins, who Mike Souza calls the most overlooked guy on this roster. Couldn't do much with that opportunity as Harrison Reese can flip it ahead with Samu Salmonen.
Coach Souza had a lot of positive things to say about Marty Lavins this week. He plays a 200-foot game, blocks shots, does everything, and he owns the appreciation of his teammates and even his opponents. And that's something that's very rare in hockey, especially in college, when the opponent respects a player of his caliber, because not all these guys are familiar with one another. So when you play each other so regularly, you get familiar with one another, and that's how you earn that respect.
Always love to hear the stories, too, of the international guys. What do they do during the semester break? Lavins from Latvia. Well, he stayed with the Fitzgerald family. His teammate Brendan lives in North Reading, so got to hang out with him during the holiday break. And now we got a cross-checking penalty signaled here, and it's going against UConn's Hudson Shandor, it looks like, or Marty Lavins. They're both going off. So as we go to break, it'll be 4-on-4 on the other side with 9:48 to go in the opening period. Nothing on the board yet. We'll have some high-flying hockey on the other side. As you see the tie-up off the face-off, and both of those guys are off for 2 minutes. Stay tuned. Skate 4-on-4 after matching minors, but first take a look at the Hockey East standings, especially the far right column. Again, UNH only 8 games played in Hockey East action. UConn the most in this conference with 13, so it could be a real moving kind of weekend for the Wildcats if they can keep up their winning ways.
An 8-point swap. Nope, that's the wrong math. 6 points.
6-point weekend up for grabs. You got Ryan Conmey on the move here. Andrew Lucas blocked that one up and out of play. Now the matching minors, you got roughing on Lavins, cross-checking on Shandor. 2 pretty important players for each side. We'll see how they manage.
They were just tied up with each other on the face-off. Throw a couple of cross-checks here and there. Refs caught it. Trying to get away with it behind the play. It happens, but both teams, I'm sure, hate to see those 2 guys in the box.
LeClaire and Tattle at the dot. And it's a UConn win, but Tattle gave it up. And it comes out to Gagne, reaching to keep it in, but not for long. Luke Reed has to reset. He banged one off the bar last weekend against BU as that one feathered to the middle, and Lucas did well to step in front of the charging LeClaire. And there were so many moments for New Hampshire last Saturday where it looked like they were going to break that 0-0 tie, but in the end, as Muldowney's shot was blocked, Sam Stevens and then Macklin Celebrini, who scored the 2 difference-making goals for the Terriers, who are now 1-2 with Boston College, and those 2 teams will face off next weekend. Alex Gagne in no hurry. Actually had a 3-game point streak heading into last weekend's shutout defeat against the Terriers. As coach says, Gagne's the only guy who can beat him to the rink on some days. Ewer drags one behind. It's a screen from Winters. 45 seconds left in the 4-on-4. Thrown into the crowd, and it'll skid to the corner. Liam Devlin drops it back for Lewis Lindner. That one kicked up and out by Percival, who's been one of their hottest scorers in the second half of the season. Rode him all the way deep into his own corner. A little bit more room for Lindner, the junior from Austria, and an AIC transfer. That one right in front of Helston, or rather Hyder. He'll put the glove on top. Well, he didn't get to start last Saturday when we saw Arseny Sergev put together a really nice performance, a 27-save shutout, but he really has been the go-to guy for Mike Cavanaugh since November 10th, and what do you know, a pivotal series, he gets the Friday night start.
Also has that senior to him, and you settle in on a Friday night. And senior experience is what I was looking for. I couldn't find that word. But settle into this series. It's a big series for both teams. So having the senior presence in the game on the Friday night is probably big for this team.
Yeah, Mike Cavanaugh's got 2 NHL options in goal. The Sergev, the Flames 7th rounder. Hyder, the Predators 5th rounder. The 4-on-4 about to come to an end as Lavins and Shandor will be freed. Lavins is going to stay on the ice, and for now, so is Shandor. He's going to join the rush. Lucas steps around Jensen. Here's Andrew Lucas, centering feed. It wound up behind Matthew Wood.
What a dance by Andrew Lucas that was. That was sick.
Really impressive blue liner from Alexandria, Virginia, of all places. But he's not alone on the ice tonight, Johnny. Ryan Conmey. He's a freshman from Alexandria, Virginia.
Ryan Conmey mentioned that the 2 of them skate together over break during the summers, and we asked Ryan Conmey if they've been chirping it all this week, and they haven't yet, but I imagine they will tonight.
Oh, look at Reed with a big chance and a pad save by Hyder. Check thrown by Blaisdell, works it free from Valou, but Reed and Sweeney were out of sync. You got to have that off-season crew to stay in shape with during the summer months, right?
I had a pretty good one coming from Long Island. We had guys like Shane Pinto, Charlie McAvoy, Joey Duzak, Sonny Milano. The names go on and on. Adam Fox would show up every now and then.
Wow.
It was a pretty good crew. Don't know how I didn't come out on top of that crew, playing with them, but, happy to be here with you, Tyler.
You gave them everything they could handle. You and McAvoy, stride for stride, I can only imagine.
I was just there to crack jokes.
You're good at that.
But I will say, the most fun thing about playing against one of your buddies, like I was a guy before the games who kept it loose. I wasn't too focused on the game before. So when I would play against a friend, I'll say the name Justin Kappelmaster was a goalie at Robert Morris. He was very locked in on his music in the pregame, and I'd always FaceTime him during the stretch just to ruin his music and get in his head.
What a prankster.
Yeah.
Johnny Lazarus. always keeping you on your toes. Here's Samu Salmonen, a Devils prospect. Save made it. A big rebound, though. Fortunately for UNH, Liam Devlin was there. Now Spets will guide it in. How about a snag from Devlin? And he's ahead of everybody. Liam Devlin in on Hyder, and he's poked away. What a job from the senior netminder as Devlin works it back to the middle for Conmee. Thrown on the backhand, loose for LeClaire, but not for long. Spets got it away. Just the momentum, everyone going to the UNH line, but because of the glove work, Devlin, he was going the other way.
Devlin had Hyder beat to the backhand, made that extra move to go back to his forehand, but Hyder read it the whole way with that stick. Devlin, a great set of hands on him, though. Just he made it a little bit more simple, would have had that.
Speaking of hands, Devlin actually broke his finger blocking a shot. He was out for 2 months, but clearly he is back, he is healthy, and he is a dangerous skater on the ice for UNH. But this time, Hyder gets the best of him, and we stay scoreless. 5:23 to go in the opening period in the Hockey East Game of the Week. Exciting start to the weekend here at Toscano Family Ice Forum. Taking a look at the head-to-head stats. Look at UConn's goals per game, just 2.7. The last 5 years, they've been at 3 or above. They really have the talent, Johnny, where they can get that number back to where it normally is. But a slow start for them offensively this year.
Sometimes just the puck luck and being snake bitten as well. The opportunities have been there. The pucks just aren't going in. So for UConn, you just got to simplify your game sometimes. And I know it's cliche, but you got to get pucks to the net and get bodies to the net and just create those second opportunities. That's what college hockey is all about, is creating those second and third chances.
It's a cliche for a reason. I know we've mentioned Friday's disappointment for UConn, unable to hold an early 2-0 lead against Maine, but the opportunities they had, even after taking the 2-0 lead, they could have really blown that game open and earned their way to what eventually would have been a sweep. So they've got some major potential to score even more. Robert Cronin stops on a dime. He'll feed Luke Reed. High slot shot. Hyder saved it. Couldn't find it, but Pascucci could. And he'll flip it out toward Fitzgerald. Along the blue line it goes. Luke Reed throws a shoulder into Tabor Heaslip. Reed gets upended. Around for Fitzgerald. Try to snap one quickly on Hyder, but he puts the glove on it with 4:27 to go.
And that possession starts because of Robert Cronin doing what is called the Gretzky curl. He comes in on the near side boards, does a little cutback, and hits the second wave of offense. And it allows UNH to now have sustained offensive zone pressure. A great seeing eye shot there that Hyder just got a piece of, but a great play by Robert Cronin. It's very difficult to do on your offside to cut back like that. And that's why the only guy they named it after is Wayne Gretzky, the best to ever do it, so it makes sense.
I can do that face-off over again. Shandor and Ring, as we hear some very audible chirping for this hard-working officiating crew from the fans down below us. Puck is dropped, and Spets looking to guide it out. Fitzgerald down on one knee. Face-offs now 9-5 in favor of UNH. Bradley tied it up along the wall, sent to the middle, but they couldn't find Ring. Instead, it's the big fella, Matthew Wood. 15th overall pick last year for the Nashville Predators. Pass was off target, though, so that's icing. When Matthew Wood scores a goal, Johnny, UConn 4-1-1. You don't always have to rely on your most talented guys, but so far that's been the story for UConn.
I had the chance to talk to Matthew Wood actually at the NHL draft this year as well, and he's super pumped to be back here at UConn. He thinks the development in college is so big for him to get to that next level, and it was very cool for him, that experience too, because he was drafted by the home crowd Nashville Predators, so he had a different experience than most other guys.
Still just 18 years old. Good centering pass from Shandor, but could not connect with Bradley. Last year, Wood was 17 years old, the youngest player in college hockey. And this year, of course, that's Macklin Celebrini, and that one finds the back of the net off the stick of Andrew Lucas. An inadvertent tip-in goal, and the Wildcats have taken a 1-0 lead on the road.
And how funny is that? Ryan Conmee, his buddy Andrew Lucas, puts it in his own net. I'm sure he's going to have something to say after the game, but Conmee right here is just trying to hit Devlin going to the back door. It takes an unfortunate bounce off of Lucas's stick, but Devlin on the right of your screen there is flying to the back post. Conmee makes a great play trying to get it to him with the saucer pass. Lucas is trying to break that pass up, but it's just unfortunate that Hyder slides over a little too far and it goes right in the back of the net.
Of all the student athletes in Hockey East from Canada, Chicago, the Northeast, you have two guys on different teams from Alexandria, Virginia, accidentally combining for a goal. Now a loose puck behind the cage, and Alex Gagne finds the escape hatch with Harrison Blaisdell. Gendron and Lucas get tied up.
And Mike Souza, the head coach for UNH earlier this week, said he wants Conmee to shoot more. He's not trying to shoot there, but gets a pretty lucky bounce to get one in the back of the net.
I'll tell you, Conmee, the 6th rounder of the Kings last year, they had high expectations for him, but he's somehow exceeded them so far. We'll have more on him from Laura in a bit, but he's already got the most points for a UNH freshman since Angus Crookshank 5 years ago. It was an absolute superstar. Here's Richard point blank. Tried to set up Salmon in, but maybe too generous there. Gagne picked it off.
That's about 3 instances so far in this first period where UConn's had a prime scoring chance and have passed it instead of shooting it. UConn has to get more pucks on that to test Helston because he hasn't been tested all that much here in the first. You've
talked about that from your playing career too, Johnny. Where does that come from? You figure guys want to score, they want to shoot as often as possible, but that's really not always the case as Percival toe drags and has his shot blocked by Heward.
It also depends on the guy in the team. I was more of an unselfish player, so I always felt bad when I shot and didn't score. Sometimes guys just don't want to shoot the puck in case it goes high over the net, and then you rims around for a breakout for their team. Some guys just, you want to be the good guy. You want to pass the puck. You want to share the wealth with everybody. But in a game where you're down 1-0, you got to start thinking shoot first.
For Conmee, his coach, I think Mike Souza gave him some of the highest praise you can hear. He said he's every bit as valuable as the top freshman across the league. He's talking about those Liberty kids from Boston College. He's talking about Macklin Celebrini. And if you put Ryan Conmee in that conversation, you're saying he's one of the best players in the country. So that's no small praise. As Lindner has to try to keep Bradley away from the puck. Heward was there at the last moment to bang it to the boards. That one skips wide of the cage. Cy Leclerc will gather the loose puck with 2 minutes left in the first period. That one's almost served on a silver platter to Bradley, but Devlin got away with it. Now he's reaching forward. Threw it right in front for Leclerc, stonewalled by Hyder. Nice save, and he hands it off to Lucas.
I don't know how Leclerc caught that pass. That was like a slap shot from Devlin. What a play.
That's a high-skill catch. Leclerc turns the corner, feeds Devlin right in front. Pad save made, rebound popped over the top, and he looks to the ceiling. Devlin had a big chance. He'll have another one right here, but he threw it to the middle where Wood was waiting, and he'll lug it ahead to center.
Great first period here from Liam Devlin. He's been all over the ice for UNH, creating chances, making plays, using his speed. What a player number 12 in dark blue is.
Again, he missed those 2 months with a broken finger. Apparently, he blocked 2 shots on one shift. The first block shot is what led to the broken finger. Stayed in there to do it again as he slipped and Fitzgerald get tangled up on the back end of the play. Now Sweeney couldn't find the puck initially, tried to kick it forward, and it's Massey the other way. From the circle, blocked up into the air by Reed. It stays in, though, as Capone and Fitzgerald went hard into the boards. Blaisdell connecting with Reed. He'll take it in himself. Back toward Blaisdell, but the pass is intercepted.
Tabor Heaslip has about 5 hits on this shift alone.
That one pinballed around right near Sweeney. Heaslip, he's been throwing the body around big time. Had his first goal of the season last Saturday against Maine. That proved to be the game winner. It was a low percentage play, I'll say. It was a backhand shot on a wraparound, but it found the back of the net as Sweeney stashes that one for a UNH line change.
Heaslip is a beast. He's 5'11", but he is not afraid to go after anyone, no matter the size. 5'11" is pretty big. I think I'm 5'11", so I would say he's.
Here's Gagne, who lets the clock run out and sends us to the first intermission. Wow, just the first period of what's going to be a long weekend series, getting chippy already. They'll play 2 more periods tonight and then 3 more on Sunday up at the Whittemore Center in Durham, New Hampshire. But 2 very evenly matched teams. I think we thought this is what we were going to see, and so far, if not for a tough luck play for UConn, you're looking at a 0-0 game right now.
It was very back and forth action. I mean, UNH had a great start in the opening 10 minutes, had some great A scoring chances. UConn settled into their game a little bit toward the end, but UConn has to shoot the puck a little bit more. They've had the odd man rushes, but they haven't really thrown pucks at the net. They got to simplify their game just a little bit more and come out here in the second period with a shooting mentality.
UConn fans hoping for something to get loud about. Another great crowd here at Toscano Family Ice Forum. Now, surprisingly, UConn just 2-4 so far this season in this particular building. Last weekend's encouraging series was at the XL Center in Hartford. So trying to continue the winning ways they started last year here in this great building. We're actually just past the 1-year anniversary of the first games played. It was actually the women's team who got to christen this new rink, and then the men played one day later. Let's send it down ringside. Ryan Conmey standing by with Laura Stickles.
Thank you, Tyler. Ryan, I gotta ask, what's your reaction to that very fortuitous bounce off of your hometown friend's stick?
Yeah, I mean, obviously just trying to throw a puck to the net, see what happens, and I got lucky, so just trying to keep that going.
What's it like to see that shooting mindset that you've really been working on in this second half pay off?
Yeah, like you said, it's just a mindset. Just want to get pucks to the net, create some offense if it's scoring, or getting rebounds, stuff like that. And obviously stuff like that happens too. So just keep throwing pucks in the net, see what happens.
And as a team, how did you guys use your skating the second half of this period to really build some momentum?
Yeah, obviously we try and stretch the ice, play in their end, and be physical. And like I say, just keep trying to get pucks to the net, and lucky stuff happens sometimes. So let's just keep that going.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Great stuff. Thanks very much, Laura. We'll take a break. Come on back with the first intermission. It is 1-0 UNH on the road in Connecticut. Players retaking the ice for second period puck drop. It is 1-0 New Hampshire. As we begin period 2 with Johnny Lazarus, I'm Tyler Murray. Get to Laura Stickles in a sec. This is the only goal, Johnny. A little bit of bad luck for Andrew Lucas.
And Ryan Conmey talked all week about trying to shoot the puck more. He's not trying to shoot the puck here, but he's looking for a backdoor pass over to Liam Devlin. Takes a fortuitous bounce off his buddy Andrew Lucas' stick, and UNH has a 1-0 lead.
Take a look quickly at the statistics. As we expected, just about even in every category. UConn was outshot 12-3 in the first period last Saturday. Good response here tonight. Before the puck drop, let's send it down to Laura Stickles.
Well, Tyler, I spoke with UConn associate head coach Tyler Helton at the intermission, and he felt like that was a fast first 20 minutes. He liked the way his team skated in the first 10, but he did feel like UNH skated better in those last 10. Now for the second period, he wants his team to really work on their forecheck. Specifically, he said their F3, they need to stay more towards the middle of the ice. He felt like in the first 20, they were getting caught too far below the goal line. Guys?
Thanks very much, Laura. And we're underway in period 2. Cronin takes a ride with Reese along the inboards. They'll get a clean out to Gagne. His shot caromed wide. Turnaround centering pass from Cronin. It eludes everybody, and Jensen has to chase it down. Gets it over to Gagne. He's stopped by Hudson Shandor. He and Jake Flynn were both day-to-day entering this weekend. Flynn not available, but Shandor is, and that's huge for UConn. He's their top-line center. When he's not active, Matthew Wood is the top-line center, but Wood right now is playing right wing with Shandor. That's a move they made a few weeks into the season, and so far it's paid dividends. Bradley banged that one off of Blaisdell's skate. Fitzgerald a step ahead of Wood, and he gets undercut. And the battle ensues. Wood well outnumbered, and Fitzgerald can work it free. Slowed down by Ryan Tattle, though. Slips through for the moment. That one's spinning toward Luke Reed, and he'll drag it behind the cage. Fitzgerald now up the wall. J.P. Turner got bumped. We'll rule it was tipped, so no icing. And Hyder's out to play it. Johnny, you were certainly keeping an eye on the first 10 minutes of this game to set the tone for the series. I mean, after kind of a funky first period, do you carry that over to period 2, a tone-setting first 10?
Once the first period's over, it's a completely new hockey game. That first 20 minutes of the game, especially when you're in the road team, you want to get your bus legs under you. It's a lot of travel when you play in these Hockey East games, and sometimes your legs don't feel as fresh. So to come out on top of the first period as the road team is huge.
Heward had a shot blocked by a spinning Tattle. LeClaire dishes it out to Lindner, and that one smacked up the ice by a speedy Joey Muldowney. He'll hammer the loose puck just high. One time the loose puck. That one angled toward goal. Muldowney, beautiful stick work, but somehow Helston kept it out. LeClaire gliding ahead, finds the glove of Hyder, and he'll freeze it for the whistle. Gets a hand from another capacity crowd here at UConn. And a note from Hockey East, Vermont has actually sold out the BU games this weekend. That means the league has had at least one sellout at every men's rink this season. Hockey East, the only conference with that accomplishment this season. Pretty impressive stuff. Great job, Hockey East fans. And Vermont, they've set some women's records up there at Gutterson Fieldhouse the last couple of seasons as well. Great stuff in Burlington.
Steve Wheeler's done a great job with that program this year as well in his first year as head coach.
We'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard a little bit later, but BU, they've got to be careful. They got BC next week and got to take care of business against Vermont. There's Salmon and a one-timer lifted high. Comes back to him. He'll drag into the corner, squares up at the circle, pass down low. Richard was maybe thinking about a give and go. It winds up with LeClaire. He overshot his target. And they'll bring it to Spetz. Skidding puck, angled toward goal, and the rebound hopped over the stick of Richard. Would have had a great look on the backhand. Huskies are buzzing right now.
Shard almost batted that on his forehand out of midair to his backhand out of midair. Just couldn't get a piece of it, but that would have been a crazy goal had he pulled that off.
A high skill play from a guy that Mike Cavanaugh says has a great hockey IQ. Richard is Sabres' 6th round draft pick out of Jacksonville, Florida.
The game is growing.
His dad was working for the Jacksonville Barracuda. That's a Southern Professional Hockey League team. There's a good look from the circle and a save from Helston. As Nick Capone is denied, East Haven, Connecticut native and a Lightning draft pick. This is really reminiscent of what we saw from Helston last weekend against BU. He's made some saves that, well, is really keeping his team in the game right now.
That glove save especially was a great save by Helston to track that puck at the last second. But this scoring chance right here, you see Capone hesitate for a quick second. He wanted to look for Heaslip going to the net. Had he pulled the trigger right away, it doesn't allow Helston to get set up in his crease.
I love Mike Cavanaugh's recruiting story about Nick Capone. He said he saw him pull off a Gordie Howe hat trick in the USHL, a goal, an assist, and a fight. He says we got to bring this guy to Connecticut. And here he is, senior.
What would a Tyler Murray hat trick look like?
A goal call, an assist call, and then you fight somebody for me.
Call him the backup.
Oh, big pad save there from Hyder. Rebound stayed out. Big chance there from Scrastons. Jensen will slip it around. Scrastons guides it out further for Gagne. Threw it on, but it was blocked by his teammate, and now Heaslip has some room to skate ahead. Jensen, the only man in front of him, and he forces him to the wall. Puck comes free. Heaslip goes down, and UNH can take over. A lot of room on the other end for Nikolai Jensen. Models his game after Duncan Keith. And now Owen Simpson collects the loose puck. Lavins threw it blindly behind him. It was picked off by Spetz. There was a streaking Wood over the blue line, but they couldn't get it to him.
Wood would have been alone by himself on a breakaway there had that pass gone through. He wanted it so bad, too. You can hear it up here.
The unanimous all-rookie team selection in Hockey East a season ago, Matthew Wood, really has been snake bit even heading into the World Juniors with Team Canada. Of course, they were eliminated in a shutout effort by UMass goaltender Michael Hrabal for the Czech Republic. Nice pass ahead to Robert Cronin. He's met by Spetz as he works it to the wall. Double team comes with Salmonen. Spetz has the loose puck, and he'll throw it to the other end. Reed goes down deep. Richard had it, fired it off of Reese. An opportunity for Reed now, but that one caromed off his foot. And it's Percival to skate it ahead. Or check that, it's Richard into the corner. Now it's Percival on the other end. Lucas knifing at it, but it comes to Reed, and now Cronin looks up ice. He'll flip it in for Morgan Winters. Good speedy skater, good change of direction, but this time he's met by Reese. Now Heward lost the edge, still has the puck, and before chaos ensues, he's able to launch it to the goaltender, and Hyder will squeeze it.
I'm sure the guys on the bench had a good chuckle at that Heward toe pick there. You got to laugh that one off. But moments ago, it was Hyder making a great left pad save there on the scoring chance by UNH. A good shot from the slot. UNH starting to think shoot first a little bit more here in the second period as opposed to the first period. We saw the only goal in this game come off a pass. So both these teams have to start firing more pucks on net like that last one.
Now remember, UNH coming off a loss. They have not dropped 2 in a row all season, so you had to expect a great early effort from the Wildcats. They do have a couple of 3-game win streaks so far this year, but nothing beyond that for a team that's 11-6-1, on pace for their best season in over a decade. Here comes Massinio, 5 assists in his last 4 games. One batted around and into the UConn bench off of Ryan Massey. So they'll stop play with 14:24 to go here in period 2. UNH in season 97. It is the 40th year of Hockey East, and I mean, these teams picked a really good year, celebrating the anniversary, to have perhaps the most competitive conference we have ever seen. It's not just BU and BC. It's these two teams we're watching here tonight. They can really make some noise because all 11 teams make the Hockey East single elimination tournament. There's Conmee. He's eager to shoot, but a save there from Hyder.
Conmee thinking shoot first. We actually spoke with UNH freshman Zach Hahn before the game, and he said that Conmee has a Bedard kind of release, which is very high praise for not only a freshman but a college hockey player in general. On the top of your screen, Conmee comes down and just lets that thing snap in stride. Very hard to shoot that powerfully while skating in stride like that.
Yeah, great to catch up with Zach Hahn before the game. The precocious neophyte going to have a great college hockey career ahead of him. As Conmee, another wrist shot. That one goes wide, and Tattle will play the carom.
What did you just say? Precocious neophyte?
Don't worry about it.
What does that mean?
Zach's dad is an analyst for the New York Knicks and should be credited with breaking the LeBron James to Miami news. He was the first man to report it, and his son's a heck of a hockey player. Well, Downey denied by a crouching Helston. He'll get the whistle, we'll get the horn, and a commercial break with 13:43 to go in period 2. Still 1-0 UNH on a goal that went in off of a Huskies stick. Great goaltending battle once again here in Storrs, Connecticut. Still 1-0 UNH. Low scoring, but it's not going to last long with all the talent on the ice tonight. For more on that, let's go down to Laura Stickles.
Well, Tyler, before the break, you guys were just talking about freshman forward for UNH, Ryan Conmee's shoot-first mindset, and that's something he's really been working on in the second half of the season, and he's gotten some inspiration from 2 great NHL players in David Pastrnak and Austin Matthews. He said he watched every single one of their goals so far from this season just a week ago, and his biggest takeaway was that those 2 guys are willing to shoot from anywhere on the ice, and that's a mindset that he's trying to adopt. Now, Johnny, question for you. Who did you like to model your game after when you played?
Well, Laura, I don't know if I model my game after them, but I watched a lot of Pavel Datsyuk and Ilya Kovalchuk. I wouldn't say that my playing ability was up to par with theirs, but those are the 2 guys I watched on YouTube basically before every single game that I played in. Thanks for asking, though. I appreciate it.
Here's Harrison Reese. He just missed the target. I guess my version of that is watching a lot of Doc Emmerich and Alex Faust games. That one banged off the end board.
Alex Faust?
Oh, fantastic broadcaster. Former voice of Hockey East.
Done some Ranger games this year as well.
Rangers radio, Bruins television fill-in. Here's Reed. Scrastons is open to the blue line, but it wasn't squared up, and they'll bring it back to center.
I'm dying to ask you to do your best Doc Emmerich impression.
You can ask all you want, Johnny. 12:25 to go in the second period. Ring will lift it in for Scrastons. Caffarelli just begging for a pass, but it never came to him. Nice job there by Andrew Lucas, who is maybe your first time watching UConn, and Lucas, the scapegoat on the only goal so far. He's an absolutely phenomenal 2-way blue line. Spets now chops this one over the blue line. Now Fitzgerald. He'll slide it in. Hyder's been steady all game, and he'll get it out to Simpson. Percival threw it over to Spets, and around it goes. Ring kept it away from Richard, who was lurking from behind, and it came back to him. Threw it ahead for Heward. Numbers building for UNH. Colton Heward sets up with a circle. Cronin couldn't settle in the slot. And a counterattack opportunity for Richard. Now Heward got hit with a hip, and it's Lavins at center. He'll walk it ahead. Cronin waiting in the middle. And he throws a check on Pascucci. He'll blow it dead for offside. 11-13 left in period 2.
That was almost a very ugly collision right there. A lot of hitting in this game. It's been very physical for both teams, back and forth. Some guys that stand out are Tabor Heaslip has thrown a lot of big checks in this game. But you see right there in the middle of your screen, Marty Lavins just gets sandwiched in between two UConn players. It almost could have been an ugly situation, but Lavins was able to hold his balance there.
And out of the pileup, they got a Husky in the penalty box. Looks like Tabor Heaslip. Now, you mentioned in the first period, Johnny, he was throwing his body all over the ice. Maybe got too physical there. Kneeing is the penalty. So, second UNH power play. Make it the third. Oh, for their last 8 coming into this opportunity. Shandor tries to muscle Leclerc back out to the neutral zone, but he cannot. Reese and Devlin go to the end boards, and Bradley does well on the backhand to spin that puck down the ice.
That's been the story so far for UNH's power play. They haven't been retrieving pucks very well. UConn is outnumbering on them on every puck in the D zone and just able to clear it out so easily.
Off of Devlin's stick, he'll race for it with Lucas. Comes to Tomasinho, puck spinning toward the slot, but Conmey had to force it back to the wall. He gets it from Luke Reed. If he shows off that wrist shot, not yet. Playing catch with Reed out high. We'll trade spots. There's the wrister, but it's blocked, and Massinio can guide it down the ice with a backhand. 8 block shots for each team right now as Tattle through his shoulder into Conmey, wins the puck shorthanded. He's got Muldowney in the middle, but obviously outnumbered. They'll bring it back into their own ends.
What a play by Ryan Tattle, but also a very dangerous situation to be in for Ryan Conmey. He was about a foot away from the boards. Tattle hit him just a little bit more from behind. That could have been very ugly, so kudos to Conmey there for absorbing that hit the way he did.
Shandor wins another loose puck battle shorthanded. Ring got in the way, but you're right, that's something they're really making players aware of. How far away from the boards is the guy you're trying to hit? If it's that stick length away, you got to let him go. Lindner, a one-timer, gloved down by Hyder, pinballed right back to him, and he covers up with 9:26 to go in the period and 14 seconds left on the power play.
UNH has done a better job in their third attempt tonight on the power play at setting it up a little bit, but they're still not getting those grade A looks. Most chances are getting blocked or not even getting to Hyder cleanly. So UNH right now has to figure out a way to get UConn to scramble a little bit in their penalty kill. They're very set right now on that diamond. So let's see what UNH comes out here with off this face-off.
They go with Ring, Winters, Caffarelli, Gagne, and Jensen. There's a warning on Salmon, one more like that, and they'll be 5-on-3 for the last 14 seconds. Out to Gagne. Jammed right to the middle. Good touch pass. Gagne out to Jensen, and the one-timer is blocked.
What a block by Percival.
3 seconds left on the man advantage. Winters couldn't read that ricochet. Now it's Massinio as Heaslip hops out of the penalty box. Winters couldn't settle the spinning puck until it was back out to the neutral zone. Again, these two teams are coming off games in which nobody scored until past the midway point in regulation. A shutout win for UConn, a shutout loss for UNH. Nice pass there to Percival, but the shot was blocked. It's Richard around to the near side for Percival. It finds Reese's stick instead. There's Richard, steps away from Jensen behind the net. Jensen recovers well, though, and works him into the boards. Now Gagne finds some real estate off the glass. A lot of mustard on that one. Can Sweeney win the race? Not quite. So icing is the call. Yeah, that's Connor Sweeney. His dad, Bob Sweeney, was the 1983 Beanpot MVP for Boston College. It's the best hockey holiday, Johnny Lazarus. Beanpot Monday coming up at the Garden February 5th. But, of course, we're even more excited for Tuesday, For the first time ever, the women's bean pot and consolation game will be hosted at TD Garden. And the championship game between BU and Northeastern. Can the Huskies hold their crown? Or can the Terriers, in Tara Watchorn's first season behind the bench, break a long drought in a tournament that, well, on the men's side, they made a tradition of winning. Cannot wait to watch that one right here on NESN Tuesday night. Blaisdell spins away from Pascucci. He gets double teamed, so he gets rid of it to Fitzgerald. Good work to get around Matthew Wood. Fitzgerald with a shot and a save from Hyder, and he got hammered by Blaisdell as well.
What a slippery move there by Fitzgerald on the blue line, getting Wood to bite and freeze and then walk right around him for that perfect shot. Hyder saw it the whole way. However, a little traffic in front. You see in the middle of your screen there, Fitzgerald just gets right around Wood, and a lot of physicality in front of the net.
We'll step aside with 7:58 to go in period 2. Still 1-0 UNH. We don't get to see it often, but a former assistant is facing off against his old boss. Mike Souza was an assistant for 2 years for Mike Cavanaugh here at UConn, and now it's their 15th time facing off as head coaches. UConn has the upper hand overall since Souza took over at the Granite State, but UNH, they took 2 out of 3 last year. The home team won each of the 3 showdowns between Connecticut and New Hampshire a season ago.
Safe to say Mike Cavanaugh knows what to expect from Mike Souza.
Now, you have an interesting, similar experience, Johnny. You were recruited to UMass by Ben Barr, who at the time was an assistant for Greg Carville. And they face off a couple of times a year because Ben Barr is the head coach at Maine and Greg Carville still at UMass. As Gendron able to break out over the blue line. Massinio stonewalls him, pushes that one out to Reed, who picked it off. And that one tipped off a Husky stick. It does stay in play, and Lucas can bang it off the boards.
Ben Barr helped Coach Carville win a national championship at UMass, so I'm sure Coach Carville was proud to see him move on after securing a championship. But it's always nice to see a prodigy, if you want to use the word, for a head coach to see one of their assistants move on and get a head coaching job, because they are very rare. And you know, it's obviously a huge opportunity and a huge honor to be a head coach in college hockey, especially at the Division I level. And
what a job Ben Barr has done in not a lot of time up in Orono, Maine. He doesn't take full credit for recruiting the Nadeau brothers, but that certainly helps.
To no surprise either, Ben Barr is a phenomenal recruiter, an even better coach, and a great person as well. So I don't think it's surprising anyone that he's having success up there in Maine.
Well, he discovered you after all, Johnny Lazarus.
That might be the one knock on his resume.
Stick goes flying into the UNH bench. They play on, and now they stop as they throw the stick back onto the ice. 6:35 to go in the second period. They made sure they threw that well out of the reach of Joey Muldowney. And as part of that, Colton Heward is heading to the penalty box. Let's see if we can find out what happened. There he is at number 20.
Heward's going to get called for interference here. We've seen this call happen a lot in hockey this year, where a player lifts the stick out of the hands of another player and the stick flies 20 feet in the air.
You know, I guess there's a reason the stick went into the bench.
Yep.
So now we know. Okay.
Wasn't accidental.
All right, power play opportunity for UConn. They've got just 2 power play goals in their last 9 games, and Mike Cavanaugh was frank. The word he used to describe the power play right now, average. Not where I want it, end quote. Lucas goes to Wood, and they get it right back to him. A chance for the equalizer here. Shandor saucers one out to Lucas. One-timer from Wood, big block from Gagne. Kept in by Lucas. Sweeney tries to muscle it out, but it stays in. Richard holding, feeds the circle. Down low for Shandor, centering feed. Big save made by Helston. A point-blank chance for Richard, but he's able to stand tall 30 seconds into the power play.
Great puck movement here, though, by the Huskies on this power play. Shandor with a great saucer pass back to the point, but this opportunity on the top of your screen, they try to work the puck down low to Shandor, who makes a blind pass, but he knows there's a player there in the slot area that could be open for a one-timer opportunity. Somewhat of a force in that scenario. Shandor didn't really have a clean look there, so maybe next time they go with a different look, but that's a clear drawn-up play.
They keep the same 5 out there on the power play. Shandor, Muldowney, Richard, and then Wood and Lucas back near the blue line. UNH's penalty killing with Jensen, Winters, Gagne, and the face-off taken by Marty Lavins. They're telling Jensen to back up a bit. He says, I'm fine. They also have a clock issue, as you may have noticed, on the scoreboard.
There's not 60 minutes left in this period.
I wish there was, Johnny. It's been a great second period. Great to be back with you. It's my first trip to Toscano Family Ice Forum. It's tough to envision just how shiny and new this place is and what the great atmosphere is here in Storrs, Connecticut, but they couldn't possibly have done better, at least in my estimation, a period and a half into my Toscano Family Ice Forum time.
It's unfortunate timing because I would have loved to play her as a road opponent, but playing the XL Center was pretty cool too, but this building is as beautiful as they described it.
And a misfired pass will force UConn to reset on the power play. Here's Wood speeding in. Met by Gagne, though. It's a great big body matchup between those two. Shandor. Back to Wood again. Give him some room at the circle. Quickly met, though, by Winters. Wood again, one-timer. Looking for the tip from Shandor, but it caromed high. Jensen threw him down into the goal mouth. And he finds a way out.
Nikolai Jensen definitely just got away with the cross-check. He had Hudson Shandor right in the paint, cross-checked him right into the net. That should have been a call, in my opinion.
They let it go by. Still 42 seconds left on the power play. Capone. They change up a couple of guys, but they keep Wood and Lucas out there, and here they are by the blue line. It's Lucas. No shooting lane. He'll find Wood. They'll swap spots. Capone winding up near the corner. Thrown to the middle. No tip in there from Muldowney. Great setup there, but could not finish, and that's been happening a little bit to UConn this year, and once they figure that part out, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
That was a great look, though. Muldowney was flying to the back post. If that puck got on his stick, he was putting that home for sure. What a play. What a look.
They really like the development of Joey Muldowney, the freshman from the Buffalo area, San Jose Sharks draft pick. They matched him up. His line was tasked with taking on the Nadeaus and Lyndon Breen last weekend, and Mike Cavanaugh really happy with how Muldowney and company handled it. The fourth line again tonight with Tristan Frazier and Ryan Tattle. Mishandled there by Arisa gives J.P. Turner a window, and he's denied by Hyder. Pads are working overtime tonight for the senior from St. Louis Park, Minnesota. Again, the only goal that's broken through was off the stick of his own blue liner. Just a tough luck moment for UConn. Otherwise, we'd still be scoreless.
J.P. Turner pulled the trigger quick there as well, and Ryan Comey this week said that he wants to see J.P. Turner shoot the puck more too. So those two talking about one another shooting the puck a little bit more. You see it here.
Somebody's got to shoot it as Turner is slowed down by Heaslip. Now Pascucci hopped one over the stick of Bradley. Nice job by Fitzgerald to get his stick in there. Bradley went down hard into the corner. Turner looking to capitalize. Will launch this one in the air to center, and it bounces right to Scrastons. Ring will drive to the net. Scrastons able to undress Percival, but then Heaslip gave him a bump. Ring is around to get it with 3:20 remaining in the second period. Massinio now looking to settle things down for UConn. Percival had it taken away. Caffarelli hops to the puck from behind. Scrastons off the setup. That might have hit the stick of Caffarelli, but either way, handled by Hyder. Whistle blows for the icing. They'll bring it back down in front of Hyder. Well, the shots stay pretty even, Johnny. 12-9 UNH in the first period. 8-6 UNH in the second. Well, UConn, aside from the power play, trying to match the opportunities UNH is generating like this one.
J.P. Turner probably had the best scoring chance of the period so far. There haven't been many grade A's for either side. You see UNH looking to pull the trigger a little bit more here in the second period, but Ethan Hyder, has been there to close the door all night.
Predators draft pick. Clarkson transfer, didn't quite see that fluttering puck, but it was off target anyway. So Lou had to give it up. Loose puck collected by Percival. At a skating lane, he'll flip it off the boards, but a line change anyway. And that gives Devlin time to collect it. With 2:38 to go in the second period. Guided in by Devlin. Reese is the first man to it as LeClaire watches him. Fraser in that fourth line with Tattle and Muldowney out there. Right now they're joined by Jake Fallu, the third-line right winger. Cagney throws a check and ends the possession for UConn. Lucas back to get it. 22 assists last year for Andrew Lucas, the second-year Vermont transfer. That was top 10 in Hockey East. 6 assists so far this season. Now again, the scoring a little bit down overall for UConn. Jensen will bring it around to Devlin, waiting at center ice. He had a breakaway opportunity early that was handled by Hyder, who actually used the stick to check it away from him. Vicinio works it free from Cronin. Almost gave it up to Morgan Winters, though. Shandor off the tip. Lavins took it from Wood. 90 seconds to go in period 2. UNH has to tag up, and Vicinio given plenty of time. He'll find Spetz. Bradley springing Wood free. Fitzgerald caught up to him, though. And he'll take it the other way. Maybe a 4-on-3 developing. He'll slide that one to the far side wall, and it fizzles out. Shandor to the corner with Spetz around, and there's Matt Wood. Harrison Reese didn't have the angle, so with 1 minute left, Luke Reed is able to gather it in. And Reese will get it anyway with a UNH line change.
This whole period feels like it's been playing in the neutral zone. There hasn't been much offensive zone pressure for either side. Just a lot of back and forth, but not many grade A chances for UNH or UConn.
Yeah, not lately. Seward walks it back toward his own blue line, gets it ahead to Turner. He'll spring Sweeney in. Met by Spetz. Wood working forward. It winds up with Sweeney. Tie up beyond the cage. Now Blaisdell. Swatted ahead by Salmonen. Touched next by UNH, so no hand pass. And now it's Spetz again. Final 18 seconds of the period. Nobody has scored a goal tonight on purpose.
JP Turner just helped a UConn Husky get into the bench. I couldn't make out who that was trying to climb the boards there, but Turner certainly helped him get over the edge.
There's the second period horn. Nothing on the board in the middle frame, so we head to the third with a 1-0 lead on the scoreboard for UNH. Great goaltending matchup. There you see Ethan Hyder. You just got to look at Jakob Helston. I mean, it's tough to say, John. Has any team given you the confidence to think they might have an edge in the third period, or is it really just a coin flip final 20 minutes?
Tyler, I think this is his coin flip for sure, and the one goal we've seen in this game was a pass. Remember that. Both goalies haven't been beaten cleanly. Hyder has been stopping everything tonight, besides that unfortunate bounce early there. You see Hyder, a lot of the shots coming low to his pads. He hasn't been tested much to the glove or blocker tonight. There you see one, but he's getting a lot of traffic in front, but most of the shots UNH has taken have been to low pads.
Laura Stickles is standing by with Chase Bradley. Laura?
Thank you, Tyler. Chase, that was a really fast 20 minutes for both teams, but not a ton of great scoring opportunities. How do you find more good chances in the third period?
I think we just need to start getting more pucks than that. I mean, I think, we have 15 shots going into the third, so just find a way to create plays on entries and just getting pucks on net.
And last weekend you had the mindset where you were able to score 2 in the third period. How do you replicate that today?
We just got to play our game. I mean, we've been talking about it all week. Just play to our systems and wear teams down, and yeah.
Thank you, Chase.
No problem. Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Excellent, Laura. Thank you very much. We'll step aside and get you set for the second intermission. Stay here and watch as UConn and their men's hockey team gets ready for a game day next. For third period puck drop here at Toscano Family Ice Forum, the home of the UConn Huskies here in Hockey East. It's the Hockey East game of the week after all. 1-0 New Hampshire after the first 2 periods, and here are the stats through 40 minutes. What do you think, Johnny Lazarus? Anything jump out to you here, or is this really just going to be a 50-50 final 20 minutes?
This is about as much of a coin flip as I have ever seen. We thought the power play would be the difference in this game for UNH, but they're 0-for-3 tonight. They've had a hard time setting up. UConn's actually had much better looks on their power play, but neither team's been able to convert so far tonight.
If you're wondering what the UNH coaching staff thinks about the first 2 periods, well, you're in luck. Let's send it down to Laura Stickles.
Thank you, Tyler. Well, I did speak with UNH Associate Head Coach Jeff Giuliano at the intermission. and he said that UConn was doing a great job defensively, especially in the neutral zone. So that way that UNH wasn't able to build a lot of momentum off of their transitions. So in this third period, he says they need to generate more off of their forecheck. So specifically, he wants to see his F1 really finish their checks, make sure they're separating their guy off the puck, so that way the F2 can come in and make sure that they can keep that play alive. Guys?
Excellent, Laura. Thank you very much. And still a couple of minutes before these skaters will take the ice. And a lot of action, of course, around Hockey East tonight and throughout the weekend. Remember, it's not a Friday-Saturday series for these two. It's going to be a Sunday rematch in Durham, New Hampshire. Take a look at the standings, which are going to be changed in, let's say, a half an hour across the league. Remember, UNH only 8 games played so far in Hockey East action. That's the least. UConn has played the most. So if they can hold on to this 1-0 lead, you could see the Wildcats continue to climb. It'd be impressive for a team that was picked to finish 10th out of 11 in Hockey East. And beyond BU and BC, Johnny, it's pretty tough to predict where the rest of these standings are going to wind up. It's going to be a really fun final 15 games or so for the rest of the season.
Even Northeastern, I know they're in last right now in the standings, but they have a really strong home stretch of games right now, which can give them a little bit of momentum going into Beanpot Monday as well, so they can turn their season around here. You never know with teams in Hockey East. The standings don't necessarily implicate how strong these teams are.
Northeastern men's hockey and the Beanpot. Back in my day, they really didn't belong in the same sentence, but now it's been a Huskies dynasty at TD Garden for the Beanpot. Man, Jim Madigan and then Jerry Keefe, what a job they have done in primetime moments for that program at Matthews Arena. All right, big moments coming up here. Final 20 minutes of regulation, 1-0 New Hampshire.
The first Beanpot game I ever watched, because I'm not a Boston guy, was the Kevin Waugh hat trick.
Here's Ryan Tattle on a shoulder save from Helston. That one winds up in the netting. A hat trick at the Beanpot. Oh, heads up. Big hit in the corner here, and Tattle went down. And this fourth line for UConn, they've been pests, to say the least. Really tough group to play against, and you're seeing part of that here tonight already.
There's been physical play the entire evening. Tattle gets the shot here, and it looks like he's chasing after the puck. Doesn't know it's out of play yet. Looks like he's going to follow through on his hit, and then some exception is taken there
Gagne
by
with the tug.
Gagne, the captain of the Wildcats.
So that was the, at least from what we could see.
No call, surprising.
That was the first
slingshot engaged.
I guess so, and then the response hit from Fraser, but they'll let him play. This is Morgan Winters. Second line is out there for UNH, and they give it up. Wood guides one to the middle for Reese, threw it all the way across, and Shandor couldn't quite get there in time. Big hit by Bradley laid on Cronin, and it frees the puck out for Pascucci on the other end. Slid aside by Gagne. He gets whacked by Bradley. A guy known certainly for his offensive ability, but Chase Bradley becoming that 200-foot player for Mike Cavanaugh. Loose puck gathered by Marty Lavins. Now Liam Devlin. Quick snapper is patted down by Hyder. Now it's Reed. All the way down for Devlin. Another check thrown by Chase Bradley. Fitzgerald keeps it along the near side wall. Cy LeClaire now along the blue line. Puck came free, but Devlin is there to pick it up. Reed given plenty of room. He'll throw it down. Big tip and a better save by Hyder. Wow, LeClaire redirected that one beautifully, but right to the pads.
Matthew Wood and Devlin were just going at it. Wood behind the play had a couple of slashes there. He looks a little frustrated here tonight.
He was battling with Gagne last period as Fraser's stick trips up LeClaire, but they're going to keep going. LeClaire dropped it right between the legs for Conmee. Nothing came of it, though, and this is Tattle to lug it ahead. Off the M boards, Helston hugs the post. Heward with the loose puck. Devlin tipped it ahead. Nice read by Lucas, though. He kept that one in. Off the end boards and around toward Tattle. Conmee is there with a stick lift, and he'll step in front of him. Thread the needle for Blaisdell. Couldn't quite do it as Lucas got back on the other end for another great play. If you're just joining us, the only goal so far was off the stick of Andrew Lucas, trying to help out his goaltender. Unfortunately, he did the opposite and perfectly tipped it past Hyder by accident. The goal was credited unassisted, of course, to Ryan Conmee, who touched the puck last for UNH. Good reach by Fraser, and they're in clean. Threads the needle. Percival's one-timer denied by Helston. That's the best chance either team has had in quite a while, but Percival couldn't bury it.
A perfectly executed play here by the Huskies through that seam. Percival just doesn't elevate that puck enough. If he got it up a couple inches there, it goes high to the glove of Helston. But a great job releasing that puck as soon as he got it, not wasting any time with the stick handle. So great job by the Huskies there on the zone entry, thinking shoot first. They haven't really done that for most of the night.
Yeah, Percival's been getting hot in the last month or so. He started December on a 4-game goal streak as Richard missed the target. Percival did not register a point last weekend against Maine, but he's become a real important factor for this offense. Nice keep in there by Messinio. Down deep to Salmonen. Looking toward the middle. That one hit off of Nikolai Jensen. Now it's Gagne in the corner. Up the near side wall, fluttering puck. Hops over Caffarelli's stick. Messinio to center. Nice quick passing. It's Percival again. Looking toward goal. That shot smacked the stick out of Gagne's hands. And then Scraston's able to bat it just beyond the blue line. Messinio will stash that one away for a line change. Helston slowed it down. Winters finds some space for Nikolai Jensen. He'll skate it ahead. Return feed to Winters, who motors his way to the circle. And that one gloved down. Big opportunity. They score! It came back to Nikolai Jensen, and he buries the rebound. Nothing Hyder could do, sprawling after the initial save, and UNH has taken a 2-0 lead. And for Nikolai Jensen, it's his 3rd goal of the season.
Well, this goal happens because Morgan Winters is flying down the near side of the wall, lets that shot rip with a quick release, and it goes right off the head of Hyder, and a great job by Jensen, the defenseman, following up the play. You don't really see a defenseman get that low in the zone, but Jensen goes right down to the goal line and knows that puck is loose right there for the rebound, and he fires it home as Hyder couldn't respond quick enough. But a great play by Winters using his speed to fly down the wall.
Now UConn needs a response. Lucas under some pressure from Winters. Lavin's reaching for it, looking toward goal. His shot lifted high. Oh, they score! That finds the back of the net, Marty Lavins. His 3rd goal of the season. And in the blink of an eye, UNH, they're pulling away. It's 3-0 Wildcats.
I heard that crossbar as well, Tyler. I wasn't sure where that puck went. We heard the ding from here, but that's a bar down shot by Marty Lavins, who comes in on the weak side after receiving a loose puck in the neutral zone, cuts into the middle, gets the defenseman to bite a bit, and then snaps that thing high to the blocker side of Hyder. But the quick hesitation and stick handle right here in the middle of your screen gets the defenseman to bite and go down, and he shoots it as quickly as possible, and that thing goes bar down right away.
The play is under review. See exactly what for. It's good to me. They show that on the video board here at Toscano Family Ice Forum, and a soft groan is heard by the fans down below. And a quick confirmation, it is a good goal. Wow, 3-0 UNH.
That puck was loud off the crossbar, though, and we couldn't see where it went originally. I thought that went out of play, too, but what a shot by Marty Lavins. What a rip.
He was the guy that Mike Souza was talking about earlier this week. He said he's a good shot blocker, a good 200-foot player, winning puck battles, but apparently he's got a wicked wrist or two. Lindner high off the glass. Conley is there, took a bump from Bradley. Spinning shot, that one kicked away by Hyder. Good look for Cy Leclerc. The Huskies in dire straits all of a sudden.
I actually thought the Huskies had a really strong start to this period as well, but those 2 goals just ruined all the momentum that they had. 2 goals in 19 seconds for UNH.
And from guys they don't usually rely on for goal scoring. Nikolai Jensen, the blue liner, fantastic in his own end. And Marty Lavins continued to climb up the line sheet. He's now the 2nd line center. Here's Leclerc on the top line. Miss came to Devlin, and the rebound, score! Liam Devlin, his 5th goal of the season, and UNH all of a sudden is pouring it on in the early 3rd period. What happened?
Well, this goal happens because the UConn Huskies defensemen are way too far into the zone. They're not gapped up on the UNH forwards, giving the Wildcats so much time and space when they enter the zone that Leclerc has 2 or 3 seconds to let a shot rip. It takes a great carom off the backboards, and Devlin is untouched going to the back post for the rebound. But look how loose the Huskies are in the D zone. they don't gap up at all there, and that allows so much time and space for the Wildcats to just get in and score.
3 goals in 67 seconds for UNH. This place is stunned. I don't blame them.
I'm stunned.
Caffarelli's pass hit a body, and there's Muldowney to win it away from Gagne. It only takes one to change the momentum in this building, or a big hit like that, but it's UNH throwing it with Caffarelli. That was Gagne that time. Off of Scraston's helmet, it's Lucas under pressure. Fired it ahead, and Tattle will play the ricochet. Sword fighting with Gagne. Works away from him, and now Nick Ring can skate it ahead to open ice.
2 UConn Huskies just try to hit Gagne, and the 6'4" defenseman knocked them both down.
Ring now. Curls to the slot. Threw it on. First save made. Rebound. Batted around. It's Fraser now. They'll slip it all the way into the corner. Tattle finds a lane to dump it in for a line change. Shots on goal now 27-17 in favor of UNH. And they're in no hurry. Sweeney now. Up the right wing wall, re-steps in front of him. Vescucci, the trigger Richard will play catch on the break with Salmonen. Quick wrister, glove down by Helston, and he took a hit afterwards. 13:56 remaining, and all of a sudden, a blowout type atmosphere for UNH. They have silenced the crowd. They have extended the lead, and they've got a 4-0 advantage, and they're throwing some hits out here too. Caffarelli putting Muldowney into the ice. We play on next. Well, that's the look of a coach who's seen his team allow 3 goals over the course of 67 seconds. Surprising everybody in this building. But UNH, they had a 1-0 lead heading into this third. You figured it'd probably be a 1-goal game one way or another, but wow, they have erupted here and taken advantage of maybe even a minor mistake from UConn. These two teams have been so tight so far. Even the slightest error has led to a big outburst offensively for the Wildcats.
Isn't hockey just the craziest sport, how that happens?
Yeah.
Seeing a game, 1-0, the only goal comes on a pass, and then in the matter of a minute, 3 goals. It's the weirdest way the sport works sometimes.
Easier said than done, but we'll see what kind of energy switch UConn can create out of that media timeout. Lucas steps in front of Winters, but eventually Winters wins it back to center. Now Lucas again, around Caffarelli, but now he's bumped by Lindner. Nice pass to Wood. He's turned away by Helston. Loose puck comes to, and one-timer from the circle, blocked by a diving Marty Lavins. Now it's Lucas again. He'll walk it to the circle, gets around Winters, threw it across to Wood, holding, and now his shot is blocked by Caffarelli. Up and out of play, and the frustration seems to continue for Matthew Wood. Caffarelli doing all he can just to get off the ice. That one smarts. We'll take a look at all the goal scoring from UNH. This one from Jensen made it 2-0. And then Marty Lavins, this was such a snipe, we didn't even see it go in initially, but off the bar and in. And then another rebound goal, if you can call it that, straight off the end boards. That's the second look at Lavins' goal, but the third goal in this third period. You think that's bad luck for Ethan Hyder? Could he have played that better, as Wood off the faceoff can't get the shot cleanly toward goal?
The fourth one's tough because the gap again for UConn, their defense was so loose. It allows UNH to come in with so much top-end speed, and that shot takes such a strong bounce off the backboard. It's tough for Hyder to get set again. There's no one touching Devlin.
Tough to predict those ricochets when it's happening behind you. And Wood back to Shandor. That one blocked by Scrastons.
UNH's credit, too. They're up 4-0. They're still sacrificing their body, diving headfirst to block shots. That's a team that's bought in to win a really important hockey game.
Vescucci navigating his way through the defense, but eventually slowed down, and it's Scrastons ahead. Couldn't find Cronin off the stick of Tattle, who's been everywhere tonight for UConn. Cronin delivers a hit. Ring is spinning pass, but out of the reach of Scrastons. Fitzgerald hammers the loose puck toward goal, but Hyder was there. Muldowney slides it ahead. Met by Fitzgerald. Tight angle. Missed the target. Around for Harrison Reese. Right to the middle. There's a giveaway. Chance there for Fraser, but he couldn't settle the bouncing puck. Got some Husky fans about tearing their hair out across the stands here at Toscano Family Ice Forum, and you can sympathize with them. They've had a lot of good looks, including last Friday against Maine. They've been in position to win a lot of games lately. And you look at UNH, they're in position to already surpass last season's win total, and they've still got 15 games to go after tonight. What a year it's been for head coach Mike Souza, his staff, and this really exciting freshman class. Or you could just say a group of newcomers, including the transfer goaltender Jakob Helston. And of all years, when you've got such a dominant top end of Hockey East in Boston University and Boston College, to be able to hang in, featured by the upset of BU way back in October, it's been an impressive run for UNH, at least so far.
UNH is also one of those historic college hockey programs that you just love to see having success. I mean, when I was growing up, UNH was one of those schools that always seemed to be at the top nationally ranked, and it's great to see them back there this year.
Convey's shot somehow skidded to Devlin. His effort was blocked, and now Richard.
UNH fun fact, Tyler.
Oh.
I remember I played there when I was playing for the New Jersey Rockets, and Ralph Cox went to UNH, the famous Miracle character that was cut a week before the games.
That's right.
And we were all obsessed over the Ralph Cox picture that was in the wit.
There's a big hit thrown on Richard by Ryan Convey. That's an absolute legend in New Hampshire hockey, Ralph Cox. Still does a lot to support the program, and they are heading to the Whittemore Center on Sundays to get an icing whistle here. And for UConn, they're going to practice tomorrow and then head up to stay in Portsmouth, New Hampshire on Saturday night, just so they're ready for the earlier start, 4 o'clock on Sunday right here on Nesson. And if something doesn't change drastically, they'll be looking for a series split. And it's so surprising considering how well they played at home last year. They're staring down the barrel of what could be a 2-5 start to their second season at this beautiful new rink. Salmon and wins it from Blaisdell. Now Turner pushed it ahead to Blaisdell. Another nice play from Andrew Lucas broke that play up. Having a tough time breaking out. That's been the story for really both of these teams for most of this game, except for that 3-goal burst from UNH at the outset of the third period. Now we're heading toward the midway point of the final frame. Looking to hold this 4-0 lead. Luke Reed now took a hit. JP Turner unable to clear. Got it back though with a stick lift of Percival. And that did get over the blue line, so Wood has to regroup. There's a bouncer for Fitzgerald. Ahead for Marty Lavins. Nice work there from Pascucci. Quickly took it away so Percival can skate in. He's got Wood behind him. They both go to the boards. Puck available for Cronin. Sends it rink wide. And there's Morgan Winters up the wall. Might have clipped somebody on the bench. With 9:29 to go, they'll blow it dead. And we will head to break. Heading to the second half of the third period on the other side. 4-0 UNH. They have shocked the crowd here at Toscano Family Ice Forum. They'll face off at center ice as we welcome you back to Storrs, Connecticut. It's the Hockey East game of the week on Nesson with Johnny Lazarus and Laura Stickles. I'm Tyler Murray. We did not see a goal aside from an inadvertent tip-in by Andrew Lucas into his own net until early in the third period. UNH scored 3 goals in a little over a minute, and they've turned what felt like a white-knuckle finish into a game where they might be able to coast to a victory. Nick Ring gets to the defense. Backhand shot was saved by Hyder. Bodies go down afterwards. Some fans wanted a penalty. They'll keep it moving, though, as Jensen retreats to get this one. Alex Gagne in no hurry. Neither team has converted on a power play opportunity in this one.
Not sure why the Huskies are sitting back here down 4 goals. Get on the attack.
Certainly a deflating moment. Not just the first goal, but had a second one come 19 seconds later here in the third. Nobody home on that centering pass from Blaisdell. We've talked about some cliches tonight, Johnny. We haven't used the full 60 minutes cliche yet, as Hyder gets to stick to that one. And coaches say that a lot. As Linder looks for the tip from Blaisdell, it went a little bit high. That one into the apron, and they'll blow it dead. And they don't always mean, let's play hard to the very end. This game really is a competition where if you let your hand off the rope for a minute like we just saw, a game can really get out of hand. As we take a look around the Hockey East scoreboard, Merrimack was up 2-0 on Boston College at home, but, well, if you've been watching BC at all this year, you knew that was probably no problem for them, and, well, there you go. They're up 3-2. BU, who is going to BC on Friday, they've got a 5-1 lead at Vermont, and then a tight one for UMass Lowell and Maine. Bradley now looking toward goal. That hit a stick on its way to Helston. LeClaire thrown down by Bradley. UNH wanted a penalty. They wanted another one here, and they get it. As looked like Linder got tripped up. Richard touches up, and it will send UNH to the power play. Is Richard heading off.
A lot of chaos going on that shift for both teams there.
Mike Capito was talking about the gauntlet that Hockey East is this year. His quote was, "They go from one ranked opponent to another, and there's no letting up." The ultimate cliche, he admitted it was. He said, well, one game at a time is the only way you can handle this league this year without getting overwhelmed. And it really felt like last week against Maine was a major step in the right direction for UConn. They're going to have to put together at least an encouraging final 7.5 minutes to at least build some momentum heading into Sunday, as Spets caught up to Scrastons and altered that shot. Meanwhile, let's take a look at this UNH power play that has been unsuccessful so far with a couple of opportunities. Linder leads Winters into the offensive end. Cutting to the middle, drop for Scrastons, and his shot is handled by Hyder. With a minute 23 left on the power play.
You can just sense the energy in the building right now is a little bit low. A power play goal here, I think people might start heading to the exits. This is a great chance, though, for UNH to work on their power play. It hasn't been very successful in the last 2 games, so not surprised to see the first unit come out here and try to get another rep in.
Arsenio and Conmey in the corner. Now it's Reed along the blue line. Conmey reconnecting with Reed, and now it's LeClaire on the other end. Conmey scored the first goal today. Reed gets it back to him, and the one-timer's patted down by Hyder. Tattle now will launch this one down the ice. Nice stop there by Hyder. You saw the goaltending duties split last weekend. Sergev had the shutout win over Maine. Almost had a nasty collision behind the net. As Devlin drops it back for Conmey. And they'll bang it down to Reed. Toward the slot, deflected down, and a pad save made. Arm goes up for a penalty. And as Reed touches up, they blow the whistle. So Liam Devlin in the offensive end is going to get hit with a minor.
Looked like a retaliation play behind the play. Devlin for a cross check. A lot of guys going back and forth tonight here, battling, throwing a little cheap shots, some slashes. It's been a pretty high entertaining game as far as the physical play goes. A lot of big hits in this one, but frustration showing here for UNH, and just retaliation penalty there for Liam Devlin. Power play frustration. I shouldn't say frustration in the game. Obviously, they're up 4-0.
Let's see if Heaslip can win this draw. Start 4-on-4 on a positive note for UConn. Spets. Now Reese. Quickly met by Winters, but he got rid of it quickly enough. And the duel along the near side wall. Gagne trying to muscle it out, and he gets it done. Well, in 5 seconds, you'll have an abbreviated UConn power play. UNH, they've scored 4 shorthanded goals this year. That's top 10 in the country, so watch out for their 4-on-5 unit. A minute 26 of a Huskies power play. Andor dropped it back, and Reese connects with Muldowney. And now Lucas will start things. Wood couldn't make the catch on a high saucer. And down the ice it goes. Hyder comes out to get it. Matthew Wood now, final 5 minutes of the third period. Got around Turner, but not Reed. A puck comes free to Lindner. And it's tipped up and out of play. Not asking you to make the decision for Mike Cavanaugh, but do you look maybe to Sergeyev on Sunday just to change the energy for UConn and net after his shutout of Maine last Saturday?
I think so, just like you said, Tyler, to shift up the energy here between games. Not that Hyder has been poor tonight. He's had a great game, I think.
Yeah.
Just, unfortunate minute and 7 seconds there that the goals probably couldn't be blamed on him. You also need your team to score a goal to help you out, right? But as far as Sergeyev goes, yeah, I would imagine he gets the start just after the momentum he's built up from last week.
About a half a minute to go in the power play. Matthew Wood walks in, blocked by Lindner. That's been happening a whole lot for Matthew Wood. UNH now has 13 blocks.
They're not one to shy away from blocking shots, UNH. I'm very impressed with their shot blocking ability all night, not even just on the penalty kill, but 5-on-5, they've done a great job too. We haven't seen UConn get a lot of shots through from the point.
Another face-off win for the Huskies. Still time left on this power play. Old Downey and Lucas playing catch. Wood was calling for it. And again, he can't find a lane. Good pursuit from Alex Gagne. But it stays in with Richard. From the circle, a shot was blocked again, this time Jensen. Well, Downey a one-timer, shoulder saved by Helston. Devlin was hopping out of the box as that pass almost came right to him with 4 minutes left in this one. Andrew Lucas works it ahead. On the second effort, he got it to Spets. Icing there, and as you surmised, Johnny, a couple of fans getting their Friday night started a bit early. Unsuccessful power play for UConn, and it's going to wind up being a disappointing night for Huskies fans. Well, they can still get the split if they take this show on the road to Durham on Sunday and find a way to beat a UNH team that has to feel galvanized after an effort like this.
Also, winning the first game in the series on the road and then coming back home just makes it that much sweeter with the chance to sweep a weekend series on home ice. You feel great ending the weekend with a sweep. It makes Monday better. It makes the entire week better. So UNH getting the win on the road in this first game of the series is huge. Go back home.
Race for the puck. Salmon and whacking at it. Amacinio. Ring kicks it down deep. Spets along the wall. Salmon in. Got it free from Fitzgerald. This one's going to find Bradley in a decent spot, but Reed's right there with him, and a line change coming behind Bradley anyway. 3 minutes left. Fitzgerald up the left wing is Krastens. Driven into the boards by Reese, and now it's Winters. Arm is up here. Penalty is going to come on UConn, so 6-on-5, empty net. Hit there from Pascucci, it's Lindner. This is Gagne, down low to Winters. Lindner again out high. Heaslip watches him, and it's Heward. 2.5 to go. Colton Heward dangles to the middle. His shot got a blue liner up high. It was Jack Pascucci with a block, but they still can't possess. That one off of Scrastins, hit the glass, and then finally gets to the stick of Bradley where they blow the play dead. So power play for UNH when we come back, and that'll take us just about to the end of the game. 2:16 remains in the third period. 3 goals in 67 seconds earlier in this frame for the Wildcats. That's going to wind up being the difference tonight at the Toscano Family Ice Forum. Roughing on Bradley is the penalty this time against UConn. Let's see.
Just a cross check up high on Ring. Bradley's been throwing the body all night. The frustration just kicking in a little bit here for UConn late in the game, down 4-0 at home.
If UNH can get a cherry on top power play goal here late in the third. Gagne all the way across. Blaisdell down deep for Sweeney, and it's Blaisdell again. Off his skates at the circle. Good read there from Heaslip to get in the way. Wasinio got turned around, couldn't find the puck. Betts got a lot on that backhander, but could not clear. Gagne down deep. JP Turner centering feed, hit a Husky stick. And Blaisdell was stepped in front of by Heaslip. Tabor Heaslip shorthanded, kick to the stick, he'll whack it in. And halfway through the penalty. Well, Connecticut Ice is coming up next week for UConn. A great annual tournament, Sacred Heart, Quinnipiac, Yale, and of course Connecticut. Best of luck to the Huskies representing Hockey East. UConn's got, or rather UNH has 2 games at Vermont next weekend. Tattle ripped it about 200 feet. And Fitzgerald back to collect. Winters motors in. Shot handled by Hyder. Puts the glove on top with 36 seconds left. And, well, UNH is going to continue that impressive streak. They have not lost back-to-back games all season.
We saw a similar play by Morgan Winters to set up that second goal by Jensen, which was a huge goal in this game for UNH, which started that onslaught of those 3 goals in 1 minute and 7 seconds. Winters' speed down the sidewall is incredible. He's such a fast skater, that kid.
They've changed the penalty on Bradley to high sticking. Could have been a variety of things. That one spins toward Hyder. Wasinio got there first.
Is it safe to say the S word?
Never. And you made me think of it, which is even worse. Fitzgerald through a crowd, they score! Big body in front, Cam Gendron. And he's able to tip it home. And it is indeed the exclamation point for the Wildcats. A 5-0 onslaught on the road for New Hampshire.
And good for Cam Gendron. You see the smile on his face as he goes down the line on the bench. Just a big body in front. Fitzgerald does a great job walking to the middle of the ice, seeing Gendron taking the eyes away of Hyder, and Gendron just gets a perfect stick on that deflection, but Fitzgerald's ability to walk the blue line and move laterally to get the shot from the middle is the cause of that goal.
Gendron gets his first goal of the year. This is just his 6th game in 23-24. Great response for him on the bench. Obviously a popular guy, the senior from Hampstead, New Hampshire, getting a chance to contribute, and he sure has tonight.
I'm going to say it's a safe time to say the S word if you want to say it.
All right, go ahead, John.
If this jinxes, that'd be incredible.
You got to do it now.
You have to do it. It's not a color guy thing. It's a play-by-play guy thing.
Jakob Helston is 5.6 seconds away from a shutout.
Oh, my God, I can't believe you did it. I can't believe you did it.
One-timer from Sweeney, saved by Hyder, and indeed it is a shutout for Jakob Helston. He's allowed 2 goals or fewer now in 5 consecutive games for UNH, and the number 17 team in the country comes away with a statement win on the road in Stores. 5-0 Wildcats. They're going home for a Sunday opportunity to sweep this weekend series.
The biggest surprise to me in this game was how neck and neck it was until the third period. We're looking at the total shots on goal for the game right now. It's 40 for UNH and only 20 for UConn. It didn't feel that lopsided for at least 50 minutes of this game, and then that 1 minute, 7 second stretch in the third really put this game away for the UNH Wildcats.
UConn dropped last Friday's series opener, responded really well the next day against Maine with a 2-0 shutout win. Both of those games, of course, at the XL Center. So going to have to go on the road, try to get a series split. UConn drops to 5-8-1 in Hockey East play. UNH improves to 5-3-1. And the Wildcats already surpassing last year's win total in the overall standings, 12-6-1. And UNH, they're going back to a barn where they are 8-1-1 this season. They play awfully well at the Whittemore Center. Huskies salute their fans, and, well, you figure as the game slipped away a little bit in the third, fans filed out early, but they were really rocking early on. Well, head coach Mike Souza for UNH is standing by with Laura Stickles.
Coach, this was kind of a funny game. You get that accidental tip in to get you guys started, but what happened in that minute in the third period when you guys scored 3?
We just put pucks at the net. I mean, we put one at the net down the wall, and one of our D that had jumped into the play scored on a rebound. So, a simple game, when you execute. But, I thought UConn played hard, to be honest with you. And, it's going to be a tough one on Sunday.
Well, Jakob Helston continues to dominate in net. What's it been like watching him make the most of his fresh start at UNH?
Yeah, you just hit the nail on the head. Fresh start, he's a professional. I've mentioned this all week. He's a 4.0 student in the classroom. He comes to the rink every day, and he represents our school so well in our program. So I'm just happy for him. A second opportunity for him, and he's making the most of it.
Well, this is New Hampshire's best start to the season in over a decade. How do you keep up this pace down the stretch?
I just think it's one shift, one day at a time. Mentality. Get home safely tonight. Reset tomorrow, practice, and be a hard one on Sunday.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Laura. 5 goals for UNH. It's their most in a Hockey East game since their first one when they upset Boston University 6-4. Big tip of the cap to our entire production crew on the campus here of the University of Connecticut, led by our guy Noam Watt and his phenomenal, talented group behind the scenes. 5 goal scorers for UNH. Conmey, Jensen, Lavins, Devlin, and then on the power play with 21 seconds left, it was Cam Gendron, a complete win for UNH with 4 of their 5 goals coming in the final period. These teams will face off again Sunday on NESN, and that'll be a doubleheader of Hockey East action on NESN. You'll have Merrimack and BC just before that, and then the rematch of UNH and UConn at the Whittemore Center in Durham. For Johnny Lazarus and Laura Stickles, my name's Tyler Murray. Have a great Friday night, everybody.